Today, in Newark, New Jersey, former governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie, becomes the first candidate to announce their 2024 presidential campaign. Christie ran back in 2016 and found limited success, but so did many other candidates in the crowded 2016 field, and it is still yet to be determined whether or not he can do better in this election cycle. It might all depend on what other candidates announce in the coming months. We are expecting to get more campaign announcements in January 2023 after the 2022 midterms. This is a very, very early campaign announcement. We'll see if that early campaign announcement helps Christie or ends up hurting him and stalling his campaign. We have two projections to make at this hour. Republicans will retain control of the Senate. That's one of the two big projections we can make at this hour. Senator Mitch McConnell will keep his majority. The Republicans made gains in the state of Georgia and in the state of New Hampshire, and the Democrats made one gain in the state of Pennsylvania. The Republicans ended up getting a net gain of one seat, and they currently enjoy a 51-48 Senate majority. But that's only one of the projections that we can make. We can also make this projection: the Democrats will retain control of the House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi retiring. We don't know who will be the majority leader now, but the Democrats actually made a few gains. They have made 5 gains tonight. So they still hold a slim majority, but they've made 5 gains tonight, and they will retain control of the United States House of Representatives. And today we have our first 2024 presidential primary poll. This is the Democratic side. No surprise, Vice President Kamala Harris leads the pack with 31%, then Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at 19%, Governor of New York Andrew Cuomo at 14%, and former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg at 11%. We believe that Kamala Harris, the vice president, will announce her candidacy in the upcoming months. The rest of these 3 candidates we're not sure about. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has given no indicator, neither has Pete Buttigieg. Andrew Cuomo has denied rumors multiple times. This isn't uncommon, especially for a politician of his popularity, but we believe that he's fresh off his re-election as New York governor, and we believe that he is perfectly happy with his current post and that he is not thinking of running president, at least in this election cycle. And now looking at our next page of candidates, Stacey Abrams at 9%, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren at 8%, California Governor Gavin Newsom at 6%, and then Senator from New Jersey Cory Booker at 3%. Stacey Abrams most likely won't run just based on the position that she is in. Of course, she is one of the 2 participants in that January 5th Georgia special gubernatorial election. Remember, neither candidate got over 50%, so Georgia has that 50% rule. If you don't get 50%, even the leader doesn't actually win. So we start over. If Stacey Abrams is able to turn out voters, then she can win, but she will most likely be too late to run for president. That might be after the first debate when she can actually realistically announce her campaign. but still doing very well in this poll, so it's still possible. Maybe if she feels like she has enough support, very well known at this point figure in the Democratic Party and very popular figure in the Democratic Party. Elizabeth Warren, after her 2020 run at 8%, this isn't great for her. She's got, of course, good name recognition, but other than that, feels like Andrew Cuomo is stealing a lot of her voters. Maybe Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is stealing a lot of her voters. Neither of these candidates have given indicators to whether or not they're going to run. Gavin Newsom, on the other hand, has said he will not run. He's denied rumors. He's at 6%, so maybe not doing as well as he would have hoped here, even if he was thinking about it. I don't think he will, based on this performance in this poll and other early polls. And then Cory Booker at 3%. He has actually publicly expressed interest, but he has also said that if Vice President Kamala Harris ends up entering the field, he will most likely not enter the field, which is probably the same thing that a lot of Democrats are thinking right now. And now looking at the Republican side of the poll, former President Donald Trump leads the way with 23%. Former Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley at 22%. Former Vice President Mike Pence at 15%. And then Senator from Texas Ted Cruz at 12%. Donald Trump is not expected to become a candidate for this election. He has given no indicator. In fact, if anything, he has expressed interest, but that was very early interest. We actually expect his son, Donald Trump Jr., to announce instead of him. He could still run. We put him on this poll, but it seems unlikely that he will run. Nikki Haley at 22%. This is a big victory that she's able to compete with Donald Trump right now. Donald Trump, of course, not likely to run, but if he were to run, you'd think he would be the overwhelming favorite. Right now, this poll shows otherwise. Nikki Haley might have a chance at getting moderate voters as well as some of the more conservative voters and take the Republican nomination even over Donald Trump. Mike Pence, on the other hand, a very poor showing. If he does end up mounting a 2024 run for president, then he might not do so well if these early numbers are an indicator. He hasn't been doing so well in these more accurate polls. And then, of course, Ted Cruz at 12%. This is actually better than a lot of people would have expected. I would have expected him doing. So this is probably a victory for the conservative rebel. At being at 12% is a big victory for him. He was expected to be low down on this top 8 that we show you, maybe not even on the top 8. And this is the same goes for a candidate who you're about to see on the next page. But he was expected to be way lower down than this. This is a pretty big victory for him. He has expressed some public interest, so has Nikki Haley. The other two have not. I guess Mike Pence has never denied a rumor, but he has also not given any indicator. Neither has Donald Trump. So Cruz and Haley have publicly expressed interest out of these candidates. And now looking at our next page of candidates, Josh Hawley leads this tier at 9%. Of course, the senator from Missouri. Then Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. Tom Cotton, Arkansas senator, and then Marco Rubio, Florida senator. Okay, so Josh Hawley leads this tier at 9%. Hawley actually denied rumors at right after the 2020 presidential election, but recently he has said that he would consider running for president in 2024 if Donald Trump did not run. So maybe he does decide to run here. At 7%, we have Ron DeSantis. He has also denied rumors. He has mostly dodged this question, but he has denied rumors when he has answered at all. I don't believe that he will run, but definitely could. This is, he's never been asked after his re-election. on Tuesday, November 8th, the 2022 midterms, he won by 3%, which he did much better than in 2018. So maybe he does end up running. At 6%, Tom Cotton, he has actually publicly expressed some interest in running for president. We believe that he is actually very likely to run for president at 6%, though not a great showing for the Arkansas senator. He was probably hoping to be where DeSantis and Hawley were right now. Throughout accurate polling, he has been down here as well. So voters not choosing him, maybe choosing DeSantis, Hawley, Cruz, or one of the Trumps instead of him. The more conservative half of the Republican Party not choosing him, choosing those four guys over him. And then Marco Rubio, the senator from Florida, this is actually a very impressive performance. This was the person I was talking about. Very impressive performance, 4%. We expected him to be down at 2%, but actually some conservatives are thinking about voting for him here. A lot of moderates want to vote for him, as expected, so maybe he does end up running. He has publicly expressed some interest, and we expect him actually to announce his candidacy sometime in the upcoming months. And live on air, Tulsi Gabbard announced her candidacy for president. She will become the first candidate to announce for the 2024 Democratic field. She found limited success in 2020, but who knows, that could change. Once again, this might all depend on what other candidates announce for the 2024 Democratic primary. We will have to wait and see. Today in Lincoln, Nebraska, Senator Ben Sasse announced his candidacy for the 2024 Republican primary. He will become the second Republican to announce their candidacy, and he is now better known than he was 4 years ago, and he is known for his moderate views and standing up to former President Donald Trump. It is still to be determined whether he can actually do well in this primary. This might all depend on the other moderates who entered the race, and if he is one of the only ones, or if he is surrounded by a group of moderates hoping to take back their party. Today in South Carolina, Senator from South Carolina, Tim Scott, announced his 2024 presidential campaign. He is somewhat like Yang in the sense that his campaign could go all the way and end up winning the Republican nomination and even the presidency, or it could totally stall and he could drop out before the primaries. This will all depend on, again, the candidate to announce in the upcoming weeks and months. But we expect him to at least make it to the Iowa caucus and have a strong showing in the Republican primary. He has been doing better in recent polls, and in just a few weeks we will come out with another poll that will show if he is doing better on our poll. Big news coming out of our nation's capital today as the Vice President Kamala Harris announces her bid for the 2024 Democratic nomination. She will be the instant favorite for the Democratic nomination and also in the battle for the White House. Her numbers will most likely surge in our next Election Central poll, which is saying a lot considering her numbers hit 31% in our last poll. We'll see just how high her numbers get in the next poll.